Two children at the age of 8 moved through the ruins of Budapest. These twin children were the Last Hungarians. The year was 2067. Magyar and his brother Leonard walked the ruined streets of Budapest and lived by looting. Not much is known about their parents, except that their father is a devil and their mother was a normal Hungarian woman. At birth, they were left in Budapest with their old mother, who died very early. The holy cities didn't accept them because Leonard and Magyar are both half human, half devil, and they are seen as enemies. The brothers learned to hunt and survive in dead Budapest at a very early age. They lived in one of the last buildings still standing in the city, the Metropolitan Provincial Library. There they also read many books about the history of Hungary, from the Huns to the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and even about the time with Viktor Orban after communism. Through all these books and propaganda, they quickly developed patriotic feelings for the dead country. Magyar and Leonard trained every day with their devilish powers to survive in this cruel world. They wanted one day to get out of Budapest and go to the Last Turanian brothers in Mongolia. To do this, they had to go through a hard journey across the whole of Eurasia. 7 years later, the holy city of Bucharest decided to send an expeditionary force with some soldiers to Hungary and Budapest to explore the Dead Land. There, the expedition group met the twin brothers Magyar and Leonard, who were now 15 years old. Magyar wanted to negotiate with them and tell them about the city, and it seemed to be going well. But Leonard didn't want to cooperate and brutally killed everyone. He wanted to take revenge for the fact that they weren't allowed into the holy city when they were born. Magyar was disappointed in Leonard because it is now likely that they will be hunted and they will send more troops. He found Leonard's decision stupid. In 2081, the holy city of Bucharest decided to form a coalition army and send it to Budapest to hunt down the two brothers. When the large coalition army consisting of soldiers from Versailles, Bucharest, and Edinburgh arrived in Budapest, Leonard and Magyar had to fight them for 3 days until they realized that they had no chance against all of these countries and ran away from Budapest. The twin brothers had arrived in Kossuth in Slovakia. There, they took resources and planned what they should do next. Leonard suggested going to the holy city of Ulaanbaatar because the Last Turanians had fled there. Magyar agreed to the idea since they are hunted in Europe anyway, but they had to somehow convince the gods there that they weren't devils. Magyar and Leonard immediately set out to make their way to Ulaanbaatar using stars, maps, and various cities. They crossed the Dnieper River, climbed the Ural Mountains, walked through the wilds of Siberia, crossed the dangerous Gobi Desert, and finally, after 2 years, arrived at the gates of the holy city of Ulaanbaatar. Surprisingly, the god Tengri of the city was waiting for them in front of the great gate. Leonard saw this as an opportunity to talk to him and convince him that they were normal people. He said to him that they are normal humans who traveled from Europe here. But before he could finish his sentence, his left arm was cut off, and he screamed in panic. The god told them that liars and especially devils would not be accepted. Magyar charged at him furiously and attacked him hopelessly. He kicked Magyar away from him to the ground. But the brothers didn't want to give up and started a fight, which they lost very quickly. As they lay exhausted on the floor, the god wanted to kill them, but Magyar spoke to him and asked him if there was a way to suppress their devilish side so that they could live as humans. Magyar quickly explained to him that they were only half humans and half devils. God Tengri replied that perhaps another god named Tengri in the city could do it. He spared the two brothers first after Magyar told him the truth and brought them to the god Tengri, who gave them a magical mark that suppressed their devil powers and their devil side. This meant that Magyar and Leonard could finally live in peace in the holy city of Ulaanbaatar. They quickly became very popular, especially among women, as they were the only ones from Europe. Leonard and Magyar then built a large harem with many women in the city center. In the year 3145, over 1,000 years later, Magyar and Leonard were still living their lives very happily in the great palace Bond Khan in Ulaanbaatar. They were able to survive for so long because of their weird genes. On a foggy morning, the twin brothers' 2 bedrooms were blown up, killing Magyar and seriously injuring Leonard. The organization behind it was the New Black Hand. Because the Europeans have now found out where they are after over 1,000 years, they have paid the new Black Hand, a Serbian organization, to kill them. Leonard, who had just survived, broke the magical mark that was holding back his devilish side and powers and vowed to take revenge on Europe.